Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back to another episode of I Talk Tech. My name is Tamer, and today I'll be giving you guys an overview and first impressions on the newly announced 12-inch laptop, the MacBook. Not the MacBook Air, not the MacBook Pro, just the MacBook. Now before I do get into specifications and all of that, I just want you guys to take one look at this very detailed specification that I found on their website. They didn't mention this at all in their press event, and I know for sure why they didn't. Just take a look at the FaceTime camera. It's always been, since 2009 or 2010, it's always been 720p. But for some reason, they started production again of a 480p FaceTime camera. Are they doing a throwback to 2009 or something like that? I don't know, but without further ado, let's get started. Alright, now taking a look at the design, it looks very similar to the MacBook Air. This time the Air went on a diet and got much thin and lighter. The new MacBook is 24% thinner than the 11-inch MacBook Air, coming in at 13.1 millimeters. And now it's even lighter at just 2 pounds. Alright, now looking at the colors that it's available in, it's now mimicking the iPhone lineup where it comes in silver, space gray, and gold. I'm really into the classic silver as it looks the nice, but if you guys are into space gray or gold, you guys can go choose that. Alright, now the display did get thinner bezels as well, which is always a good thing in my book. Now the display also is a Retina display, finally once on a MacBook Air. Wait, it's not a MacBook Air, I can't say that. It now has a Retina display on it, so it comes in a resolution of 2304 by 1440, which should look really beautiful on that display since it's including thinner bezels. It is a 12-inch laptop, so it's kind of in the between of 11-inch and 13-inch. For me personally, 13-inch was a sweet spot, but 12-inch may be an even better spot for you guys, deciding whether 11-inch is too small and a 13-inch is too big. So now onto the keyboard. They have really overhauled the keyboard in a way. They made it edge to edge, so it's basically the keyboard goes all the way to each side of the edges of the body. Now with the keyboard, they also introduced a butterfly mechanism, making it much more precise when you type. So it's overall going to be much easier to type on, and Apple keyboards have always been known for being nice to type on. Now one of the biggest changes they did do on the body is the trackpad. Now the trackpad no longer clicks anymore. They have 4 force sensors on each corner of the trackpad, and those basically give the MacBook a pressure sensitivity. Now they're calling this pressure sensitivity force click. Now what it does is that instead of clicking, the software mimics clicking. The computer will react to how hard you press on the trackpad. So for example, let's say you're watching a movie and you're on the fast forward button. If you press the fast forward button really hard, it will fast forward it really quickly, so it's either at times 16 or times 32, whatever the current setting is. If you just hold it down very softly, it will fast forward it at a slower pace. So pressure sensitivity does look like a cool feature, and it's a better way, as I don't usually do too much clicking, I usually do tapping, so it wasn't a big deal for me to lose clicking. But for some of you guys may need that clicking feature, but I'm sure most people will get used to it over time. Alright, now due to the thinness of the new MacBook, they had to eliminate the fans in the computer because there wasn't just enough space to put in a fan. So what they did is they used the new Intel Core M processor, which comes in at a speed of 1.3 GHz with turbo in it. Now other than that, the connectivity has also been changed, such as the I/O ports. They got rid of all the I/O ports except for one port, and that's a reversible USB Type-C, which will act as basically the everything connector. It will allow you to charge the computer and use a display monitor, as well as possibly Ethernet adapters as well for it. Now that's basically all the changes that happened in a new MacBook compared to the other MacBooks. But personally, in my feeling, that this is a really sad thing that Apple did introducing this laptop. This was not needed in its place, as we already had the 11-inch MacBook Airs and 13-inch MacBook Airs, and we already had the top-of-the-line MacBook Pros with even better processing. So for me, the big bust was the idea that companies are falling for, which is that thinner is always better. Now I am so not with this, as we can see with the iPhone 6, thinner is not always better, as we have a bulge in the camera like many other manufacturers such as Samsung Galaxy S6 does. And overall, thin is not always better, because with thinness you lose a lot of special characteristics or special specifications that you were possibly looking for in a new computer. So for one thing that really got me turned off is that Intel Core M processor. Now before, in previous reviews, there was one computer from Lenovo that did have an Intel Core M processor, and based on reviews, that thing was lacking performance. It's a low power processor, so it doesn't really use too much power, and you cannot expect any fast processing coming out of it. Now Apple computers are always known for using processing. I have my 13-inch MacBook Air over there that I use for editing videos on Final Cut Pro 10. Now that thing is a power beast, but it's not as power beast as the other MacBook Pros, but it gets the job done. I couldn't see myself editing on that, as it wouldn't have the power capabilities of me to edit on it within a timely manner. So overall, with that Intel Core M, I only see lack or losing performance on that, which is never a good thing when you jack the price up. Now that was also another big turnoff for me, which is the jacking of the price up. Now the usual MacBook Airs fall in the line between $1,000 to $1,300 and even more if you spec it out. And Retina MacBook Pros also start in at $1,299. Now where this one comes in is also at $1,299, which I don't feel is justified. You know, if this was the new cheaper laptop they were going to offer coming in at $700 to $800, I would have been all for it. You know, that's another cheap computer that will appeal to more customers looking to be in between that range between $700 to $800, but don't want to cross the $1,000 range. So this would have been a great hit for those people, and it would have been justified for that slower processor and that no fan design, and it would have been a nice feature to have a thin laptop within that $700 to $800 range. But that thinness does not justify why it should be $1,300 for the base of that really slow Intel Core M processor. And I don't feel that this will be a great worthwhile investment for anybody that's looking out there, because you can always just go buy a regular 13-inch MacBook Air, which will give you a bigger display, a possibly even better battery life, as well as that performance that you need in order to do tasks that require even more performance. So while the new MacBook is great, as it does look good, comes in many colors, and it comes in this new thin design with this new keyboard and trackpad, I don't see it going far in the lineup, as it's just been overrun by the Air and the Pro. There's no real room for it in that market, and I don't know why Apple is trying to introduce it as a new item in the Mac lineup, as I don't feel the Mac lineup needs any changing or adding of to it. I feel it's perfect as the way it is, but introducing this new MacBook is very pointless. So overall, I am not really too enthused about this MacBook. Now, as I said in the beginning of the video, this camera is a 480p camera. What was Apple thinking when they introduced this with a 480p camera? For the longest time, they've been using 720p cameras, which provided okay video chat. I mean, it was usable. But now you're gonna go downgrade that to 480p, which is not even HD anymore, it's standard definition. Doesn't make any sense to me. And even though it's kind of in the netbook range, it doesn't have the price of a netbook, because netbooks run around $200 to $300. This one's running around $1,300 and above. So why make a $1,300 computer come with a 480p camera? It doesn't make any sense to me, and I don't understand what Apple was thinking. But anyway, guys, you guys tell me what you think about this new laptop that Apple released, the new MacBook, not the Air, not the Pro, just MacBook. So leave a comment down below, as well as hitting that like button and the subscribe button. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and peace.